Scott Morrison's state visit to the United States is in full swing with our Prime Minister and his wife Jenny Morrison welcomed to the White House. Dozens of military officers carrying the flags of both countries lined the lower balcony of the White House ahead of the arrival of both leaders.
Staff, present arms!
Following the national anthems of both countries, both leaders met with dignitaries before delivering remarks on the enduring friendship between our two nations.
Today we celebrate the long-cherished and unwavering friendship between the United States and Australia. The First Lady and I are honored to welcome you and Jennifer to the White House, and we look forward to hosting you for a state dinner tonight in the Rose Garden. It will be quite something. The unbreakable bond between America and Australia is rooted in eternal ties of history, culture, and tradition. Last year, our nations commemorated 100 years of mateship since our gallant service members fought together in World War I. Today, we vow to carry on the righteous legacy of our exceptional alliance. The close relationship between our two countries dates back to the earliest days of the American Republic.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mrs. Trump, for the honour you have bestowed on my country here today with this extraordinary welcome. Jenny and I bring with us and our delegation the amity, the thanks and respect of 25 million Australians for this great country of these United States of America. 50 years ago, another Australian Prime Minister visited the White House, and he said there are too many bonds between our two countries for any Australian Prime Minister to feel that he is a stranger. So once again, as another Prime Minister returns as a friend to celebrate with you, Mr. President, one of our oldest and dearest friendships, it is wonderful to be here. Australians and Americans understand each other like few other peoples.
It'll be a who's who of the Australian business and sporting worlds when the Prime Minister attends the state dinner with President Trump at the White House. It's the first state dinner for an Australian Prime Minister in 13 years and only the second for the Trump administration. Laura Jays has more from outside the White House.
The White House is the most public of private residents, and it will play host to the Prime Minister Scott Morrison and 500 invited guests. A state dinner is what the White House considers to be the grandest of grand gestures for a visiting leader. They are rare, they take months of planning, and the term military precision isn't quite a cliche in this case. Business leaders Andrew Forrest, Andrew Liveris, Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch, along with Anthony Pratt, will mingle with Australian sportsmen Will Power and Greg Norman, just to name a few. Now, the First Lady has chosen a golden and green theme. This inspired by the humble wattle flower. Golden bowls filled with yellow and white roses will signify our long-standing friendship, and champagne grapes highlighting the richness of each country's wine industry. It will not be an alcohol-fuelled affair. President Trump doesn't drink. This is more about a public display of who does and doesn't matter in the unwritten rules of diplomacy. And in the eyes of America, not all world leaders were created equal. Laura Jays, Sky News at the White House.
And we have details now about the presents the Morrisons will be giving to Donald Trump and his family. The PM will give President Trump a bronze figurine of Leslie Bull Allen, crafted especially by Australian sculptor Scott Edwards for the visit. Bull Allen was an Australian stretcher bearer during World War II. He was awarded for rescuing 12 American casualties while under fire on Mount Tambu, New Guinea, on the 30th of July 1943. The statue is designed to symbolise the enduring mateship between the peoples of Australia and the United States of America. Mrs Morrison is giving First Lady Melania a set of Paspali classic stud earrings. They feature two 8mm Baroque Australian South Sea Keshi pearls from Western Australia and are made of 750 mark yellow gold. At the PM and Mrs Morrison will give the President and First Lady a personalised Socceroos jersey for their son Barron, a keen soccer fan. And later this morning, join us for our full live coverage of the state dinner with commentary from Paul Murray and Laura Jays. That's from 8 a.m. live from the White House here on Sky News.